confessions. Don't stir them. The Shaken Confession Podcast, where we spill the tea, okay?
Hey,
What
welcome
up?
back.
Hey,
y'all.
what's going on?
We are here. I'm Jazz.
What's going on? It's Country.
And Mimi.
We're shaking confessions, guys.
Yeah. What's up, ladies? How's your day?
It's
Going
good.
well.
Everything is
Going well.
good?
It's
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because we out wine tasting
Wine
today.
tasting with the ladies.
This is for all the winos.
Hey. Yeah. So today we are gonna taste some wines and go over the proper way. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say the proper way because a bunch of I always butcher the word sommelier. Wine
don't.
experts.
Don't ask me. I am the absolute
You know,
worst.
them people that drink wine and
Some of theirs.
yes, something like that.
So what's it sound?
Yes,
I
I'm
have
not
no
one,
idea.
clearly. But, don't come for me in the comments that I didn't do this correctly. But, we're just going to have a little fun, taste some wine, and
Yeah.
do it how we want to do it.
Right.
Let's go.
So, we're going to taste 3 wines. We have a rosé, a white, and a red. And I'm going to kind of go over, the way to kind of taste it. So, they go by sight, smell, taste, and then you breathe. So with the sight, y'all ladies want to grab the rosé?
Yes, please.
So sight, they go by the color. A lot of times too, if you kind of roll it around and swirl it, you can see how fast or how slow. They always call it the legs come down. That goes on the sugar content and the alcohol content. So the slower the legs, the more sugar, the more alcohol.
And is that with bubbly as well?
I don't know that.
Curious.
I don't want to say yes or no. That's above my sommelier
She said,
training.
I just like the bubbly.
But I would assume so.
Okay.
But at the same time, maybe science will be like, no, because the bubble. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one. But, so they go by color and if it drips on the legs, and then you smell. So they say there's 2 ways that you can smell. First, you smell with your mouth closed, and then you smell it again with your mouth open, and that oxidizes. I probably am saying the oxidize.
That's right.
Yeah, the wine, so that you can get a second deeper
Wind
of it, yeah, and sometimes you'll pick up different notes that you didn't know were there the first time. So.
Okay.
Yeah, this usually when you do different notes, it's open and mouth closed too. So
Cheers to the rosé.
Yeah, so, we won't get too deep in it, but usually they say rosé is more on the, fruity and berries. Each one is, of course, going to be different, but most of them are usually that consistency of, fruit, berries. Some of them have, a cotton candy-ish-esque vibe to it. But next, for the taste, they do say to swirl, but I don't think we would do that with
Rosé.
bubbly.
that's what I was asking about the
Legs, yeah. It's probably not on that one. But then they say you're going to sip, but swish it around. And before you swallow, you're going to, suck in a little bit of air. Don't let it spill down your chin when you do that, too. So,
Perfect.
Okay.
does that do something different than just a normal taste?
Honestly, I feel like the sucking of the air did make it,
It opened it up a little.
yeah, it was a bit more vibrant.
Yeah, it was like what is when you do the thing on the wine that it's the aerator. Is that what it's called?
I'm like, the wine talk is not my expertise.
Yeah, I'm not a wine talker. You know when you do the red wine through the
Oh,
spout?
the little glass.
yeah.
I can't even think of the name
It's
right now.
an aerator. It's something like that.
Yeah. It's the bubbles with the air and the oxygen in the wine.
Yes, it opens it up.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Mm-hmm.
It's that basically it's that you're opening up the wine, and that's what they say too. I don't know, because I feel like wines are moving more into a screw top versus corks.
Oh
but
my
there
gosh,
was a science
thankfully.
to the corks. The corks were to, once you pop it and you open it, and then you put the cork back in, it still could breathe a little bit. But with the caps, they're not breathing at all. So I don't know if that's changing the wines overall, or there's a reason they're going into the screw caps over the corks.
Well, as
I
a
don't know.
bartender,
Yeah, it's
let me just
amazing.
tell you, when I was young and not wanting to screw tops are the worst, right? But now, like, it's the best thing on the planet.
No, I agree.
So convenient.
So convenient. You can't, because sometimes when you're doing the cork, you might mess up. You might mess up. For real. And it sucks when you have to either push the cork in and strain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you get the
That's
little
awful.
cork, little
worse.
Like, just
pieces
throw it
that
out
fall in the
now.
bottle.
And don't be doing a wine tasting at a party and then you really mess up.
Yeah.
And then people are just looking at you crazy. So I always turn my back. Turn my back. So if it doesn't pop off right, I'm like, oh, next bottle.
I like to pre-open my wine. Like, if I'm doing a tasting,
Same.
I'll pre-open the bottles, like, during my setup. But if you're working a bar, you open as you go.
Right.
A lot of times, it's not a huge deal unless you're, like, at, like, a sit-down restaurant and things like that, then it might be. But, like, usually at, like, bars and someone gets a glass of wine, like...
Right.
It's...
I did a wine tasting that your company sent me out on one time. That I did not know it was a wine tasting. And every person brought a white and a red.
Ooh.
And there was about 50 people there.
I sent you on
It
this?
was one of your...
You did it.
Mm-hmm. She did
Sorry.
it.
My bad.
And I was already on a 3-day, so I was already feeling fantastic. And I had to open all the bottles of wine, put them in bags and number them, and then go and serve each person. And it wasn't like a line. It was just everybody everywhere. We didn't even get to the whites because they were so trashed at the end. But then they couldn't even judge which they were. But I definitely messed up at least 6 bottles. I was just pushing them in. I'm like, like, is that my bottle? I'm like, absolutely. And this kept going.
Yeah.
But
Well, let me be the one to say Events with LML loves you, and we thank you for
All of your efforts.
your hard work and
thanks.
your
I was
efforts.
really
and-
salty with you guys that day. But
Yeah. Wine tastings are fun. It just definitely, if it was 50 people, I'm not sure why I did that to you, because it's a little bit hard when it's that
I don't think
many.
it was. I don't think it was told to y'all
Yeah,
that that's
for
what
sure.
it was. And then I got there, and then it was just the complete opposite. It was supposed to be just basic cocktails, and then it's full on wine bar.
And
with
that's
50
one thing,
people.
hey, when you're in the private world and you're doing events, nothing ever
Oh,
is
yeah.
the way it's supposed to go.
Right. The only
Like,
thing
you have to be able to
constant-
just...
I'm sweating. I'm like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm texting. There's no service. I'm like, you kidding me? And you guys are like, just do it. I'm like, okay, great.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. We'll tip you later. No, but it was fun.
All right. You guys want to taste the white?
Sure, let's get into it.
That red's kind of far. That's going to be a stretch. Because I just
Short
stretched
people.
super far to get to this white. I'm like, woo. Cut off a little circulation on my rib cage there. All right. So the same site. And this one's not a bubbly, so we should be able to see. So the legs on this is actually going
slow.
really slow. So
Right. And then
And that's not typical for a white. I feel like with the white wines, they're always usually less alcohol and less sugar content than a red versus. So
it's something light. This is definitely light.
yeah. All right. See, smell. So
This is
go ahead.
Buttery.
Country's like, let me find out. Let me see if I taste the butter.
Oh, I taste the butter.
So
And
usually,
I like the butter. Do you like butter?
No.
Oh,
I
she's
don't.
like, she's I know.
see, here's me. I was the opposite. I used to like white wine, but the older I got, I moved to red for sure.
really?
I don't like white.
No,
as much
I will
anymore.
say this is like not a full butter. It's kind of like fake butter.
Yeah. It's like vegan butter.
I was gonna say, can you believe it's not butter?
I couldn't think of it. It's not real butter.
Okay.
You have that aftertaste to it, you know, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not.
This isn't something I would probably
Buy or
Right.
order. Yeah. Well, usually whites. I mean, you have different white wines. There's so many, but just generally speaking, whites are usually more crisp. They have the butter, citrus, acidic. Some of them even do have sweeter notes like apples and pears, apricots, things like that. But it's definitely, it has like that bite sometimes.
I think it's also the cheaper the wine has that as well. I really like Chardonnays. I'm a Chardonnay drinker.
Oh yeah, I taste
and-
that butter.
But this is like it's the fake butter for me.
Here's like a little secret too. If there's ever a wine that you're drinking and it's not really that great, if you squeeze a lemon in it, completely
Really?
turns it
I've
around.
never heard that.
I never
And
heard
you
that
will be
either.
like, ooh, I can drink this. So when you're on y'all and anybody else, just try it.
Okay.
Okay.
And we slice open a lemon. They're like, "What are you doing?"
Be like making this trash wine drinkable.
Right.
That's
Thank
what
you
I'm
for
doing.
buying the cheap shit.
Yeah,
Ooh,
exactly.
Thanks
So,
for that one.
Yeah.
little note there.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
It does. Well, I wonder if it does something with the acidics.
Yes. What it does, I can absolutely not explain that for you, but I just know it works. Yeah. So it almost, I guess, it kind of takes more of like the dryness out and it makes it just like easier to drink. It makes it more smoother, more lighter to drink.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. And usually like with rosés, they do say pairing is more of like a seafood.
Yeah. Whites are more seafood, I think.
And whites are
Pasta.
definitely like pastas, light cheeses. I think salads, chicken, salmon, like those are the kind of things like people will pair. Yeah, with the white. Let me see.
Yeah.
One more.
You're gonna
fake
do one
butter.
more. Let's
One
fake
more
Wait,
fake butter.
breathe it in with your mouth first.
Are you supposed to open?
Open.
I don't think I opened the last time. It's different.
It really is, isn't it?
I actually could drink this if
Yeah.
I mean, that would be annoying
Sorry,
every time you take a sip.
You're on a date and you're like, hey. And they're like, what are you
You're
doing?
like, does she have a condition?
Right.
So
But yeah,
funny.
it was with the
All right, let me
maybe if
try.
it like sits open for a little
But
bit.
now I have to
Oh,
blow out and then
maybe.
go in. Hold on.
No, you got to breathe in after you sip it. So sip a little and then take a little air in.
Maybe it's just getting better with every sip, or
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a little bit better.
Right, it was a little easier
And
to
also,
go down.
it's the glass has been sitting out, so it's been aired out a little bit too. But I love Chardonnays ice cold.
Yeah. You definitely have to drink cold
Cold
white.
white.
wine.
Same with rosé for me. It needs to be
Same, freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fresh out the freezer.
And my rosés, I really like sparkling. I don't like the flat ones.
I'm with you on that.
I
I'm
can
with you
do
on that.
either or, but I do like sparkling. I love it.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
fresh. Like, it makes me feel fresh like that.
Ain't nobody I don't know why that just popped in my head.
I'm just so fresh. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, do you want me to grab your glass for you?
I'm like, this time I had to come out the seat a little bit.
It's all right.
All right, with red, we'll see.
Do we know what kind of red this is?
Okay, so these have thick legs. The legs are like really thicker.
I don't see. Where's my legs?
So I guess that would be the difference. Oh, and this is going really, really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this, I don't know if you can see mine, but
I think I might be handicapped. I don't mean anything.
I know. Can we cut that word, please?
Sorry. All right. Well,
Let's try
Yeah,
it.
let's
Okay.
try.
let's try.
Where's
Like, I'm
that?
gonna set this one down.
Martin, when he would drink wine, he's like,
this has a tang to it.
mm-hmm.
But it has plum and peach, oak, and
Definitely
vanilla.
like a nut.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got a vanilla. Yeah. I don't mind it. It would be good in a sangria.
Yeah, in a sangria, I could definitely see that one. Do we know what that was? It tasted like a...
I think this was a cab.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a cab. Yeah, usually reds in general, dark berries, cherries, stuff like that, plums, as you're saying. A lot of them are more bold. Some of even get down to like having a tobacco or tar. They get real crazy with some of the like notes and flavors that are. And sometimes I really actually wonder, at these vineyards, they really put in tar, like.
Right.
And I know they say sometimes it's like with the barrels, like maybe like the way
The
they make the
rimlets.
barrels. So some of the
Right.
chemicals and things that were used to just make the machinery is the reason why you'll taste the notes. But some of it is like,
Really?
And then I heard one time too, like mass produced wine, like those bigger vineyards, box wines, or like those, $2 chucks. A lot of them, that when they say it tastes like tobacco is because some of the workers could just be
Smoking.
smoke, and then they throw the
okay.
butts into
In the thing?
No,
No.
just like they'll be picking and smoking, and ashes could drop, or they'll just toss a butt, or like buds will get into the soil, and that's a reason why some of those tobacco. And then you start to think, well, what other things are you getting in that is going to change that note of that,
Yeah, I'm back to the rosé. Right. What the heck?
I needed something to clear my...
So we rosé-ing
We
it.
rosé all day.
Right?
Rosé all
Cheers,
day.
ladies.
Rosé all day.
Cheers.
All right. Well, I have a couple little wine trivia to see.
Ooh.
I guess if you guys get it right.
Okay.
It's only like 3 questions. We ain't gonna go
Let
too
me
deep.
see.
And y'all
what's
too.
the
Y'all
prize?
gotta see. The prize is a big hug from me.
I was going to say, can we take the bottles?
There you go. Better. You can have the bottles.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
How many grapes is typically used in one bottle of wine?
1,000.
And what particular? This doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I said that off the top of my head. I have no
6,500.
idea.
Oh, y'all think like it's some grapes in there, huh?
Oh, you got still little grapes. You got to smash them.
Yeah.
What's the
but-
answer?
I mean, Jazz is definitely the closest. It's 600 to 800.
Okay.
Well, I had the 6 right.
You had one too many zeros on that 6, but
I mean, that's 600 grapes. I think of the Lucy where she's smashing on the grapes and makes the wine. And there was so many grapes. So
but that's not one bottle of wine that she's smashing at once.
facts. Still, 600 grapes seems
Seems
less.
like it's not
Small
enough.
amount. I'm gonna go smash 600 grapes
And see, yeah, check.
I'm
this,
doing fact check. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know.
Okay, so globally, what wine is consumed more? Red, white, or rosé?
Red.
Rosé.
You should have went with your first mind.
I know, because I was.
You were thinking red
I was
because I
thinking
I
red.
saw you agreeing with
And I
her,
was
which
like,
you're
let me
like,
this. Yeah,
it's red.
it's red.
Yay.
It's red.
It's red. Yeah, way to go.
I
You're
just
2
feel
for
like-
2.
Yeah, men are like,
You
they're
really wanna
meat
take the
eaters.
bottles home, huh?
I do. I want to take this Prosecco. No, I just see more men, when they're eating meat or, they're drinking red wine. So that's just my indication.
And overseas, when I've traveled overseas, red is very popular. White, there's like only 2 options.
Right.
And people just
There's-
don't drink white.
Yeah.
That's just not their thing. Unless it's champagne. Like a real champagne, not, rosé. Not saying rosé is not a real champagne, but they just don't drink. They don't have Chardonnay. They have
Right.
like just one white. It's a white wine, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Can white wine be made from red grapes?
If you get 3 for 3,
She's a sommelier.
yeah, sommelier.
Sommelier.
Can white wine be made from red grapes?
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna just say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can pull the skin off, and all grapes are the same color when you pull the skin off.
Oh, you're so smart.
That's humans.
Right.
Oh, look at us.
World peace.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
That was a nice trivia.
Right?
I learned something new today.
Yeah, me too. Way to go.
So speaking of wine taste, and wine just always puts me in like a,
Sophisticated
and type of a mood, and it just, something I've always had like a good passion and a big passion for is like, generational wealth and finance, multiple levels of income, stuff like that. And I've always really like, hate is such a strong word, and I think it's probably actually fitting in this context, is I've always hated that our school systems don't teach kids, including us, because we went through the school systems here, about basic finance. Like, of course, you don't need to dive into all topics in high school or, but how to open a checking account.
Right.
How to balance that.
Right.
How to pay a bill. Things that you do.
I learned about credit.
Right. And really knowing like what to do with credit.
We learned X plus Y equals G, and I've still yet to use that
X,
equation in my everyday life. Now, granted, if you go into certain professions, you need mathematics and science and whatnot. So that's a college thing in my mind, where it's like going to college, you dig deep into stuff like that. But things that you're going to use on an everyday basis, why is that not being taught to our kids?
Right, definitely. I definitely feel like the school systems are not teaching what people need to be successful when they're graduating high school, like implementing the conversations of credit and just finances and really understanding why they were, set in stone for us to,
Because we could even take it further back and be like, credit is BS.
Definitely.
The whole system of it is BS.
The whole system of it is BS because we are the original creditors for everything that we attach our social security number as, and people just like feel like...
And I think it's taken advantage of so much.
It is, because the people that are saying they're the creditors are just writing the loans to us, and we're signing it and signing our lives away when that's our credit that they're taking and just doing the paperwork for us.
Right.
So,
and it's like, who made this?
Who made them?
Who made them, and who made this scale to where it was, a credit goes from 0 to this, and who made the marks of that? Like, it's just, to me, it's just like, and then let's even go on to a racial standpoint of it. How's that used against on a daily basis to different races? Like, being given loans and denied access, like, it's just a weapon and a tool that's used against all people.
It is, because it's so
all
crazy
people,
when
unless
you have
you're that, 1%.
Because isn't it crazy, like, you'll have a 750 credit score still getting declines of everything? Like, what?
What's the point of the number
What's
then?
the point?
It's time for Cheaper Than Therapy. Bartender advice.
All right, so we have Paula from Fargo, North Dakota, and she says, at my restaurant, I don't get tipped out a lot by the servers. I feel like I'm making way more drinks than I'm being tipped for. And on top of that, I have to tip out the kitchen. Is this how it is everywhere? Tipping out the kitchen is crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand that. The tip out I've never had to tip out the kitchen.
You're lucky. I have. In restaurants.
Was it like a high-end restaurant where you guys are making like $500 a night?
Red Lobster was like probably the first.
And you had to tip the kitchen out?
How much?
That was so long ago. I don't remember, but I want to say it was like 10%.
But you were doing the kitchen if everybody taking... I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It was like, they cook the food for your guest. Like, the way it was like explained in training was server is... That's your table, your people, and everyone else is helping you get these people what they want. That was kind of like the way they put it to us.
Oh, I mean, to go back to the question, you should look at their printout. You know, their closeout. Every server gets a closeout. They have to do their tip out. You know, their, what is it called? I haven't done it in a while. End of the night.
End of the night.
So
Yeah.
end of the night.
I forget
you
too.
do the printout, and then you can see exactly what the liquor was, what the food was, what this, that, and the other is, and then you can compare to what you want to tip out.
Yeah.
Now, I've worked at bars where the servers are like, "Oh, here's $3, and I know I made you 70 drinks."
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you do about that?
I feel like tipping out is kind of like you just have to roll with the punches type of a situation. When you're working at an establishment, you can't set a different rule. You have to kind of play by the rules. You know what I mean? If the managers, whatever corporate is saying, you have to tip out this amount, this is the standard. It's one of those things where get a different job if it's not working for you.
Right.
And if you don't like the tipping out, go work at a bar and not a restaurant. Because a bar,
You have your
there's
host, you have all kinds of things.
it's too much at a restaurant. Yeah, at a bar, your bar backs is about as good as it gets, and you keep your money. So you just have to align yourself in a place where you feel comfortable. If you're not making enough money at that restaurant to tip these people out, or vice versa, it's not enough money coming in, so your tip outs are too small. Move on. Move on.
Yeah. All right,
There we
guys.
are.
Well, that's that.
All right, ladies.
Our good old wine. I'm gonna
Good old
finish my
wine.
glass.
Me too.
So
me
am
too.
I. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the podcast. We truly appreciate it. Make sure you check us out: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Tip your bartenders.
Drink responsibly.
Get an Uber, Lyft. Do not drive drunk.
Please.
See you guys next time.
See you next time. Bye, guys.
Raise your glass. Tip your bartender because it's the Shaken Confessions podcast.
Yeah.